isn't it great to get back to normalcy? It really is, videos about updates, prospects, guys going out there and dominating. This is a great day. Well, at least yesterday was a great day. Because the Montreal Canadiens, while they did not have themselves a game, there were multiple games on tap for Canadiens fans to pay attention to see whom it is the organization is marinating and see whom it is the organization can get excited for. Let's talk about the Laval Rocket as well as the Michigan Wolverines. And I get it, this might be a little bit early to make a video for the Wolverines, but we'll go along with it because we can also talk about the Rocket. Earlier yesterday, on Friday, October 11th, the Rocket defeated the Baby Bees, the Providence Bruins, 5-2 in Providence. And this was a really good showcase for Canadiens prospects, in particular because the Baby Bees actually took themselves a 2-0 lead 10 minutes into the first period. So if you're doing the math over here, the Bruins went up 2-0, the Canadiens farm team, the Rocket, ended up winning 5-2, which means that the Habs prospects combined for 5 unanswered goals. And the number one star of this game was none other than a guy that we may or may not have expected to actually making the Montreal Canadiens this year. It's Logan Mailloux, who scored 2 goals and 2 assists in his first Laval Rocket game of the season. Now, I know a lot of people were watching Mailloux in camp, watching him and his development over the years, and were kind of expecting him to get himself a spot on this Canadiens blue line. If it wasn't going to be Reinbacher, it was probably going to be Mailloux. There were probably going to be some shenanigans happening with Barron, whatever have you, so there were always going to be options here. And I don't think there was a consensus amongst Canadiens fans. So when Logan Mailloux ended up getting sent down to the AHL, firstly, it was kind of a little surprise. I don't want to say like a huge shock, but it was a little, oh, okay, I guess that's where they're going with this kind of move. And we actually did have Logan Mailloux himself talking about the decision to send him down. It was talked about on TVA Sports, it was talked about on a whole bunch of other outlets. This is where TVA went out there and said this: Logan Mailloux saw himself starting the season with the Montreal Canadiens. And it talks here about how Logan Mailloux didn't really have as much enthusiasm in speaking with the media in Laval. I didn't claim 100% that I could start the season at the top, but that was my goal, said Mailloux with a lively look, still disappointed with his fate 24 hours after receiving the news. There have also been some conversations as to where Mailloux will go from here, how he may be one call-up away to the NHL from never playing an American Hockey League game ever again. Last season, he was pretty good in the Laval Rocket system, scoring 47 points in 72 games as a rookie. But now, he is on pace for 288 points in 72 games. He, of course, is not going to hit 288. I can see him hitting 200 points on the year, and maybe that's the most. But he is on pace for 144 goals and 144 assists. He's doing very well. Okay, all sarcasm aside, he had scored 2 goals and 2 assists in this first game against the Baby Bees, and a lot of these points were very, very nice. Just going over the tail of the tape here, Mailloux got things started assisting on Adam Engstrom's first goal for Laval. He then had the secondary assist on Philip Méchar's game-tying goal before scoring himself in the second period too. Give William Trudeau a goal to give the Rocket a 2-goal lead, and then Logan Mailloux in the third scored a beautiful, absolutely astounding goal where he starts out on the right point. He ends up taking the puck, walking right in, faking a backhand drive, and then just shooting it on goal. He makes a really nice move into the middle, pivoting around the Bruins defender, and then gets it on goal to score a beautiful 5-2 decision goal right there. Logan Mailloux had himself a night, and this is us only glazing the 1 goal that he scored at the end. There were 3 entire other points here that he ended up scoring. I guess that sentiment really is true, that Logan Mailloux is a lot closer to NHL success than not, considering that he looked so confident, so dominant in this game in the Laval Rocket. A lot of people, even in the subreddit, are saying, hey, it's crazy how different Mailloux is playing in the Rocket system versus at training camp. It feels like he was playing it safe at camp. This is a great take. It's tough for some young players when they first come up. They tend to play conservative and safe out of fear of messing up and looking bad amongst the pros and the coaches. But if they just do their thing, which is the reason they were even drafted, and are given the freedom to do so, they shine. Logan Mailloux will find his way, and he'll be a big piece on the club for years to come. Other replies are saying that, hey, he played way too safe, you couldn't even recognize him. Yeah, what I saw at camp was not the Logan Mailloux I saw in Laval and then in the rookie showcase. The guy was just not putting the foot on the gas pedal. He was really, really holding back. Either way, all we can do is hope that he is able to get back into the groove of giving it his all and taking those risks offensively in order to get points and in order for him to inevitably carry that over into the NHL when he does get called up, because you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to get injured, somebody's going to get taken out. It is inevitable for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, I also wanted to turn your attention to the other game that featured a Montreal Canadiens prospect. It was the Michigan Wolverines, and I will say, they have themselves yet another game, because that is how the Wolverines and NCAA hockey usually ends up going. There are games on Fridays and Saturdays, and they'll be playing the Arizona State University Sun Devils once more later this afternoon. But on October 11th, Friday, they did have themselves a 4-1 victory, which featured a hat trick from Garrett Shifsky. However, all props to Shifsky aside, I wanted to go out there and talk about the guy who scored the only goal that wasn't a Shifsky goal. It was Michael Hage, who went out there and added a power play goal at 3:27 to make it 3-0. He directed a shot from TJ Hughes to net the team's second power play goal of the year, and former Sun Devil Tim Lovell notched the secondary assist on Hage's tally to earn his first point in a Michigan sweater. If you go over to Michael Hage and you take a look at the goal, you'll just see some very good position work. He's putting himself in the right spots, he's getting open, and he's tipping pucks right in front of the goalie, making it difficult for them to stop them up. And if you take a look at the subreddit, you'll see an assessment here by Amsroll. Michael Hage picked up 1 goal on 1 shot, even 4 for 9 on the faceoff circle. In just his 3rd game of the season, he already has 2 goals and 5 points. Not sure why the stream did not have a replay of his goal. So, Michael Hage is continuing his dominance and putting himself in good positions to continue scoring points as well. There was that period where he had a point on the first 4, I think, Michigan Wolverines goals of the year. They ended up scoring quite a few that were not points for Michael Hage afterwards, but he still has been one of the top guys. And if you head over to the Wolverines and their stats right here, you will see that Hage is still number 1 on Michigan in points, with 5 points in 3 games played. Garrett Shifsky, with the hat trick, goes up to 4 goals on the season in 3 games, so good for him. But Michael Hage, as the current Michigan Wolverine leader, is doing a pretty good job too. And as long as he continues playing like this, he puts himself in the right areas, he keeps on making good reads, keeps on making the right decisions, and using his skills to his advantage, he could be a lot more of a versatile, all-situations kind of center who can score, he can defend, he can just do everything you need a guy to do somewhere in the middle of the top 6 of an NHL lineup. So with Logan Mailloux's dominant 4-point performance yesterday and Michael Hage getting back up on the board here for the Wolverines, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Canadiens prospects doing their thing. Not mentioned was Philip Machar, who had scored a goal and 2 assists in yesterday's Laval Rocket game too. There were a lot of other guys that put themselves on the board in this game, but I think Mailloux had the story that takes the cake. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Montreal Canadiens prospects. Who do you think is going to get the call up first, and how much do you think that's dependent on Canadiens' injuries? The Habs have slowly started to let these younger dudes in on the lineup. Lane Hudson has been doing his thing. Slavkovsky, of course, is breaking out, or at least he's on the cusp of breaking out. And there are a few dudes that are also doing their thing here. Oliver Kapanen is looking solid. But amongst these Laval Rocket guys, who do you think is next up? Is it Logan Mailloux? What are your thoughts on Michael Hage for the remainder of the season? Depending on what happens today with Hage and the Arizona State University Sun Devils, we may make another video, depending on if Hage has another crazy night or whatever. It would have to be really crazy to justify making a second video about him a day later, but still, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Logan Mailloux's 4-point game, about Michael Hage still being the top scorer in Michigan Wolverines hockey. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.